Mm. Mm. Shepherd, shepherding 送り届ける shepherding 送り届ける madness. He seems angry as a kind of madness. As a kind of madness. ほう。よし。Seneca can be referred to for advice on coping with hardships, and actually he has much to say of relevance to such contemporary stupidities as violence observed in some circumstances. He seems angry a kind of madness. Given that what makes us angry tends to be the proliferation of dangerous, optimistic ideas about the world and other people. In this modern world of affluence, effective medicine, and the political system devoted to shepherding us safely from the cradle to the grave, we do not anticipate ever through the lives. The wise man always considers that it can happen, and because we are injured most by what we do not expect, we must expect everything to happen. Socrates also offered this advice: if you wish to put off all worry, assume that you fear may happen, certainly going to happen. Many are seduced by the trapping of wealth, power, status, and position. But the secret of a fulfilled and satisfied life is the wisdom to know what will truly make us happy. Montaigne believed in the severity of wisdom, knowing what helps us happily and morally, over mere learning. Education that makes us learning, but fails to make us wise, is, in his scheme of life, quite simply absurd. But few living at this hour. Hmm. Man is man is seduced. 見せられる誘惑される。誘惑するそのかす。Seduced by trappings. 虚飾。trapping. 虚飾。装飾。trapping of wealth, power, status. But はいはいはい。Seneca can be referred to for advice on coping with hardships. Actually, he has much to say of relevance to such contemporary stupidities as violence observed in some circumstances. He says anger as a kind of madness. Given that what makes us angry tends to be the frustration of dangerous optimistic ideas about the world and other people. In this modern world of affluence, effective medicine, and a political system devoted to shepherding us safely from the cradle to the grave, we do not ever. The wise man always consider what can happen, and because we are injured most by what we do not expect everything to happen, Socrates also offered this advice. If you wish to put off or worry, assume that what you fear may happen is certainly going to happen. Man seduced by trapping wealth, power, status, and positions. And the secret that fulfills a satisfied life is the wisdom to know what will truly make us happy. Montaigne believed in the value of wisdom, knowing what helps us live happily and morally over when running. Education that makes us running, but fails to make us wise is, in his scheme of life, quite simply absurd. But are you living at these hours? Seneca can be referred to as for advice on coping with hardship, and actually, he has much to say of relevance to such contemporary stupidities as violence observed in some sycophants. He sees anger as a kind of madness, given that what makes us angry tends to be the frustration of dangerous optimistic ideas about the world and other people. In this modern world, affluence, effective medicine, and political system devoted to shepherding us safely from the cradle to the grave, we do we do not anticipate we do not anticipate medicine and the political system devoted to shepherding us safely from the cradle to the grave. We, we, we do not we do not anticipate we do not anticipate なんか We do not answer evil. We do not answer evil. We do not anticipate evil. We do not anticipate evil. We do not anticipate evils. Devoted shepherding us safely from the cradle to the grave. We do not anticipate evil before they arrive. The wise man always considers what can happen, and because we are injured most by what we do not expect, by hmm, by what we do not expect, by the by what most by what we do not expect, by what we do not expect, by what we do not expect, by what we do not expect. We must expect everything to happen. Socrates also offered this advice. If we wish to put off our worry, assume that what put off our worry, assume what you fear, what you fear. Assume that what you fear, assume that what you fear. If you wish to put off all worry, assume that what you fear may happen. It's certainly going to happen. Man is seduced by the trafficking of vast power, status, and positions. But the secret of fulfilled and satisfied life is the wisdom to know what will truly make us happy. Montaigne believed in the value of wisdom, knowing what helps us live happily. Oh. Knowing will help, knowing will help us live happily. Huh? and live happily and merrily, and live happily and merrily. Help us live, help us live happy and merrily. Wisdom, knowing, uh, knowing what helps, knowing what helps, knowing what helps, yes, knowing what helps us live happily and merrily. And the spirit of wisdom, knowing what helps us live happily and merrily. Over me learning. Education that makes us learn, but fails to make us wise, is, in his scheme of life, quite simply absurd. What the, what the hero living at this hour? What the what the hero living at this hour? Hmm? What that what that what that is that what that hero living at this hour? What the hero living this hour? Hero living at this hour? What that hero living what that hero living at this hour? Seneca can be further for advice on coping with hardships, and actually he has much to say of relevance to such contemporary stupidities as violence observed in some circumstances. He sees anger as a kind of madness, given that what makes us angry tends to be the frustration of dangerously optimistic ideas about the world and the people. In this modern world of affluence, effective medicine, and the powerful system devoted to shepherding us safely from the cradle to the grave, we do not anticipate evil because our lives. We are wise men always consider what can happen, and because we are injured most by what we do not expect, we must expect everything to happen. Socrates also often this advice: if you wish to better a worry, assume that what you fear may happen is certainly going to happen. Men are seduced by the trafficking of wealth, power, status, and positions. But the secret of the fulfilled and satisfied life is the wisdom to know what will truly make us happy. Montaigne believed in the superior of wisdom, knowing what helps us live happy and morally over mere learning. Education that makes us learning, but fails to make us wise is, in his scheme of life, quite simply absurd. But the human living at this hour. Ah, Seneca can be referred for advice on coping with hardships, and actually he has much to say of relevance to such contemporary stupidities as violence observed in some circumstances. He sees anger as a kind of madness, given that what makes us angry tends to be the frustration of dangerously optimistic ideas about the world and other people. In this modern world of affluence, effective medicine, and a political system devoted to shepherding us safely from the cradle to the grave, we do not anticipate evil before they arrive. Their minds may always consider what can happen, and because are injured most by what we do not expect, we must expect everything to happen. Socrates also offered this advice: if you wish to better off our worry, assume that what you fear may happen is certainly going to happen. Man is seduced by the trafficking of lust, power, status, and position. But the secret of a fulfilled and satisfied life is the wisdom to know what will truly make us happy. Montaigne believed in the spirit of wisdom, knowing what helps us live happy and morally over mere learning. Education that makes us learning, but fails to make us wise, is, in his scheme of life, quite simply absurd. But the few living at these hours, what What the hero laying up these odds? Hmm. Seneca can be referred to for advice on coping with hardships. Actually, he has much to say of relevance to such contemporary specificities as violence, exile, and self-sacrifice. He sees anger as a kind of madness, given that what makes angry tend to be the frustration of dangerously optimistic ideas about the world and other people. In this modern world of affluence, effective medicine, and a political system devoted to shepherding us safely from the cradle to the grave, the northern spread evil before their lives. The wise man the wise man always considers. The wise man always considers. The wise man always considers. What is the shepherding us safely from the cradle to the grave? We do not anticipate evil before they arrive. The wise man always considers what can happen, and because we are injured most, but what we do not expect, we must expect everything to happen. Socrates also affirmed this advice. If you wish to pass off a worry, assume that what you fear may happen is certainly going to happen. Man is seduced by the trapping of wealth, power, status, and positions. But the secret of the fulfilled and satisfied life is the wisdom to know what really truly makes us happy. Montaigne believed in the superiority of wisdom, knowing what helps us live happily and morally over mere lying. Education just makes us wrong, but the fails to make us right is, in his scheme of life, quite simply absurd. What do the what the hero living at this was? Mhm. hardships, and actually he has much to say of relevance to such contemporary stupidity as violence observed in self-defense. He sees anger as a kind of madness, given that what makes us angry tends to be frustration of dangerously optimistic ideas of the world and of the people. In this modern world of affluence, effective medicine, and a political system devoted to shepherding us safely from the cradle to the grave, we do not anticipate evil before it arrives. The wise man always considers what can happen, and because we are injured most by what we do not expect, we must expect everything to happen. Socrates also often this advice. If you wish the better of our world, same the will you feel may happen is certainly going to happen. Man is seduced by the trafficking of wealth, power, status, and positions. But the secret of fulfilled and successful life is the wisdom to know what will truly make us happy. Montaigne believed in the severity of wisdom, knowing what helps to live happily and morally over mere learning. Education that makes us learning, but fails to make us wise, is, in his scheme of life, quite simply absurd. What does he living out deserve us? Michael. There is no point in philosophy unless it helps dispel mental suffering. Originally, the philosopher's role was like that of today's psychiatrist, to provide an answer to how we are to live. In fact, modern psychiatry, whether it knows it or not, is getting the other side the great philosopher's most fundamental belief. Consider Epicurus. He was the man prepared to confront the question, what does it make you happy? His answer includes friendship, freedom, a willingness to analyze and reduce anxiety about such things as death, illness, and money. The capacity of money to deliver happiness here instead is present in small salaries, but will rise with the largest. A recently published book by an English sociologist describes a number of studies which have indeed shown that one's personal income is above the poverty level, and increasing the larger one contributes next to nothing to happiness. Quite the reverse happens. As wealth accumulates, family solidarity and community bonding disintegrate. Hmm. There's no point in philosophy unless it helps to dispel mental suffering. Originally, the philosopher's role was like that of today's psychiatrist, to provide an answer to how we are to live. In fact, modern psychiatry, whether it knows it or not, is carrying out some of the great philosopher's most fundamental belief. Consider Epicurus. He was a man prepared to confront the question, what does it take to make a man happy? His answer includes friendship, freedom, a willingness to analyze and reduce anxiety about such things as death, illness, and money. The capacity of money to deliver happiness, he insisted, is present in small salaries, but it is not right with the largest. A recently published book by an English sociologist described a number of studies which have indeed shown that one's personal income is above the poverty level, and increasing larger one contributes next to nothing to happiness. Quite the reverse happen, as wealth accumulates, family solidarity and community bonding disintegrates. Mm-hmm. That happen. What does it take to make man happy? 人間を幸せにするものは何であるかと。What does it take? もたらすか。何が必要か。Take two. What does it take to make a man? 人間何が必要か。うん。うん。Initially, the philosopher's role was like that of the psychiatrist to provide answer to how we are to live. In fact, modern psychiatry, whether it denies it or not, is carrying out some of the great simplest, most sound fundamental beliefs. Was a man prepared to confront the question, what does it take to make me a man more happy? The pattern is small story, but with no rise with the largest. A recently published book by an eminent sociologist described a number of studies which have shown the worst personal income is above the poverty level, and increasing larger one contributes next to nothing to happiness. Quite the reverse happens as the wealth accumulates, and solidarity and community bonding disintegrates. うん。So the bites and having hardships. Actually, he has a necessary relevant for such contemporary stupidities. Hmm.